And like Jason says,
Jim,
like,
you're flirting with strike one.
Jason says they're in AEW because of the money. And so what if they are? Like, isn't that what motivates a lot of people?
Except they aren't.
Well, I don't think that they necessarily are, but what if they are? What if some of the people that have gone to AEW only do it because of money? Isn't that part of the reason that WWE was able to scoop up a lot of the indie talent over the last 5 years? Because they were going to pay them more than
they were also, and I think this is a good segue to the Mick Foley thing. For the past 20 years, we've gotten to know a ton of independent wrestlers, and a lot of them, their aspirations are get to the pinnacle of professional wrestling, which was only the WWE. That was your choice. If I want to make it in my field, I want to get to the WWE. 3 years ago, or however long ago, AEW, that changed. AEW is now a factor, and young independent talent, old independent talent can now change their goal and say, I want to wrestle on television for AEW.
Yeah.
That wasn't an option 15 years ago.
No, it certainly wasn't. All right, I have the video. This is from Mick Foley's Facebook page. So let's go to that. We'll get his comments here.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley. I'd like to title this video WWE, We've Got a Problem, because I think you do. And that problem is that WWE is no longer the place for talent to aspire to. Part of it is because AEW is doing a great job of attracting great talent, proven talent, building other talent, creating storylines, but part of it is a problem of your own making. I think younger talent sees the way that developmental characters are cut or left by the wayside, or in the case of Karrion Kross, greatly watered down and even made a joke of when they debut on the main roster. If it's not broke, don't fix it. If I was an aspiring talent now, big league talent with a major decision to make, I'm not sure that I would trust WWE Creative to do the right thing with my career. You guys did wonders with me back in the day, but that was a different time, different place. If it was today, I'm not sure I would trust the powers to be with my career in their hands. And until that changes, WWE, you've got a problem.
I failed to see. My Mark's out. Most people would have thought that would be
Mark. That really spoke to him.
It did.
Mark's he's making a change.
Most people would have figured it was me that would have left during that. But like,
how well said was that?
Show me the lie.
Yeah.
You know, I think Mick has a tremendous point. And do I think there are certainly still some people who WWE is their main goal. But I think, you know, and if, you know, we come back to it, and the episode this week has titled it. I think a lot of people got worked up by Roman in what he said, but like that needle has moved. Like it's you know, I think there are a lot of talents, and Mark's back. Maybe.
What is going on?
Good Lord. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't have put it better than Mick Foley, and he's somebody who, you know, he's been in that locker room, and he's been in that backstage even in recent years for appearances. Like these are the sort of things that should be alarming.
Yeah, it's not like Mick's like a constant critic of the company. He champions for the company often in any chance he gets. You know, I mean, we saw him, three of us anyway, at the stand-up show, and a lot of his stories were just kind of praising the company that he worked for so long. So it's not like he's kind of one of the bitter former talents that's going to say something like this. I think Mick is always going to speak with the best interests of the company at heart. So I think that's why I think it shocked people so much, because you don't see that. You don't see Mick being outspoken about WWE like that. You see him being outspoken about certain talents, about certain social issues, but rarely about the actual company. So I think it holds a lot of weight here with what he has to say, and hopefully it gets in front of the right ears, the right eyes, but who knows, because I've seen a lot of negative reaction about it, and I don't think people are seeing the point of his statements. He's not trying to bash, he's trying to improve the situation as best as he can.
You know, I think Mick is one of the more honest voices on social. Like, he'll call it like it is, whether it's, I mean, he called out AEW for the booking in their women's division. Like, he's not like fanboying for one company over the next. He's giving his honest opinion as somebody who's given literally his life and body to this business. Jason says, when Mark's screen goes blank again, hopefully there's a surprise debut when it comes back. But yeah, Ryan, Tim, Mark, any thoughts on what Mick had to say?
Is there anybody better than Mick Foley, though, to have this opinion? Here we have a guy, his entire career known as Cactus Jack, and gets implemented into the WWE system and becomes Mankind with the brown and the mouse, or the rat and the mask. He trusted that enough to say, my career as Cactus Jack only got me so far. I trust the WWE to do the right thing with me and this and this Mankind gimmick. Ultimately, going far enough to incorporate his original gimmick as Cactus Jack in his WWE run. There's not many people that I can think of that have had that great of a success, knowing as somebody else outside of the WWE, going to the WWE and having more success as this new gimmick. So Mick Foley has the absolute right to say, hey, I gave my trust to them. Today I might not. Today, if they pitched the Mankind gimmick to him today, would he say yes? Or would he say, I know I can go to AEW where they'll let me be Cactus Jack, that's established and well known, and I can have a hell of a career as Cactus Jack. Bang, bang.
The retort to that, though, is that Mick Foley was at the AEW before he went to WWF. He was in WCW.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And they misused him there. Well, not misused him, but
okay, that's fair.
He didn't get as much out of where he was.
Sure.
So he had that other opportunity. Now, to kind of make the same point, though, had people 20 years ago, or over the last 20 years since the buyout, if they had a legitimate second option besides like Ring of Honor or Impact, would they have taken it? How many talents have we seen come through WWE in that time frame? Like a John Cena, a Randy Orton, a Batista, that 2002 class, that famous 2002, 2003 class. How many of those don't go to WWE if there's another place?
That's fair.
And it's on the rise.
Tim, I think you stumbled onto a great question, and we might have to table this, but Sinclair's a very wealthy company. Could Sinclair have thrown the money at Ring of Honor the way the Khans are doing AEW and made a legitimate second brand to challenge the WWE years ago? And I don't know how long, I don't know how long they have owned ROH.
Yeah.
I know Gabe was part of it. Feinstein was part of it. There was a whole bunch of other stuff. But when the buyout happened, they had the money. They probably could have made a solid run at it, but chose to keep it what it was. And that's fine.
I feel like
I love Ring of Honor.
I feel like that's the difference between, and I mean this, and you and I, Ryan, have talked about this off the air.
Hamburgers?
Like, yes, hamburgers. But like when Tony Khan gets out in front of a crowd with a microphone, he just looks like the biggest mark in the room. And he kind of is. So like I feel like that's the difference. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, the word mark is in money, Mark.
Sure. But like to me, that's the difference between entertainment company that owns a wrestling brand versus billionaire that starts a wrestling company. So like, yeah, could Sinclair have done it? Sure. But are you really going to
I meant
invest?
done it and be successful. I don't mean done it and challenge like Impact challenge there for a little bit with the Hulk Hogan and money misspent.
Sure. But like Sinclair's looking there like, look, we can do and we can have this Ring of Honor brand and it's going to bring some attention to us and it is what it is. Like, I don't think they were ever going to like shoot that shot and try to challenge the WWE. I think they knew, look, we're probably not going to challenge the WWE.
Okay.
WWE's the established brand. We're like, Tony Khan's like, fuck it. Let's throw the money bags out there. Let's try
Can't be worse than the Jaguars.
Exactly. So like, you know, I think that really is the big difference there is it's a billionaire's like, you know, I don't mean this how it's going to sound, but I've heard people refer to it this way is like it's a billionaire's vanity project versus an entertainment company's wrestling brand. I think that's the big difference. And it's paying off probably like I don't know what Tony Khan and the EVPs when they were sitting at the start of AEW, like I don't know what their 3-year goal was because we're basically coming up on those 3-year deals. Like I don't know what their 3-year plan was, but like I don't know if they would have necessarily thought they would have been where they were at this point. And I said something after Sunday night's pay-per-view that like I think AEW's days of booking the collegiate arena are over or coming to an end. And then Tuesday, I think it was, they announced that in December they're coming to the new home of the New York Islanders, the brand new arena that's opening in New York. Now, it's a big wrestling market in the Northeast, but like I think we're going to start seeing more of that. I mean, they sold out the United Center. You know, they if they haven't already, they're going to sell out Arthur Ashe. They're going to sell out that arena in New York. So like,
is the WWE running the week before them?
Yes, at that arena.
That'll be fun.
You know, yeah, I'm sure there won't be ticket sale comparisons going on there.
There was more bags of popcorn sold at the AEW show.
Yes, Tim.
So Sinclair purchased Ring of Honor May 21st, 2011.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's been over 10 years since they purchased Ring of Honor. And that kind of leads me to my answer for your question, but
yeah, it does.
Yeah. But there was a point I was going to make. Oh, seeing a comment Jason made in the chat. You guys are acting like they're volunteering. We're talking about the wrestlers coming over. Yeah, no, I don't want to come off like that.
That guy volunteered.
I mean,
Bryan Danielson volunteered.
In the day we were talking about with Hogan and Savage and Luger, the focal point of the wrestler is to make money, because you have to think, and I've had this conversation before, and I think I've had it here on the show. Everyone who wrestled for the most part in like the 80s and the 90s were a failed something. Failed athlete,
right.
Failed whatever. They're picking up bouncers. They may be wrestling fans, but are they actually wrestling fans? Where wrestlers now, guys like Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, grow up as wanting to be wrestlers. So what motivates what motivated a wrestler in the 80s, the money, the notoriety, the being the superstar, because they can see guys like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger be big time, big body guy movie stars. See where Hogan went.
It was Rockstar without the Rock.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now it's about the phrase that's being thrown around a lot is the art of wrestling, the art of professional wrestling, but also people nowadays would give up a portion of their salary to have the freedom to do other things that interest them other than their 9 to 5 or wrestling. Cole loves his Twitch streams. He's the only person on WWE in that contracted group that stayed on Twitch after the mandate of your money comes out of your downside guarantee. He stayed on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Which is insane. Like, so Adam Cole wants to do stuff that he wants to do. He wants the freedom. Same thing with a CM Punk. He's still able to do his outside ventures with the UFC, doing commentary for stuff for their developmental brand. There's plenty of wrestlers in AEW that stream on Twitch or on YouTube. They have vlogs and stuff like that. And AEW incorporates what the people do outside of television into the mainstream television. Whereas WWE's like, don't be anything else.
Yeah, and I mean this notion of volunteering. Like, okay, so if you work in any industry, I don't care what industry you work in, and there's multiple companies, but there's like 2 really big ones, and you have the opportunity to stay with a company that you work for, or there's another company who does basically the same thing that you do, and they're going to pay you a shitload more. And you know some people who work for that other company, and they're like, dude, this place super fun. Like, you know how like the place we work at, like, you know, that you work at, because I've been there, it's like it's not quite as fun, and they don't like let you do as much stuff outside of work, and like you're kind of like beholden to the brand. It's totally not like that over here. Yeah, and let me remind you, they pay you, like, let's just say even more than what where you used to work. Don't act like you're not gonna, at the very least, flirt with the other side or go, you know what? You know, I only have one life to live. Why don't I go make more money over there? Because we know for a fact that the company over here, the WWE, like, if they can make money on you, it doesn't matter if you go to the other side. Like, I've already seen rumors, because, like, you know, those 3-year deals that are coming up, there's already been rumors that, like, the WWE is, you know, are like, there's, like, I don't know if there's actually been conversation, but like people are already starting, and I think you might have even said it, Ryan, when we were talking on Sunday watching the pay-per-view, but like I've seen rumors that like WWE is considering throwing like big money at Jericho. And like, I don't think I truly don't think Jericho's going back to the WWE. I think he'll one day be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think Jericho ever wrestles for WWE. But I've already seen some of these rumors that like there's guys in WWE that Jericho wants to wrestle. And like, I mean, Raw could certainly use like a face, a recognizable face that's going to get attention, like a Chris Jericho.
50-year-old former WCW star like Goldberg.
Okay. But like, you know, like, but like the bottom line is it's not volunteering. Like, I'm not saying that the guys that are going to AEW are volunteering, like, but if there's a buzz and there's a notion that that people are enjoying themselves, and they're having fun, and like Charlie says, get more time off. Like any number of reasons why AEW seems like a better place to go. I don't think they're volunteering. I think people are making a choice to go over there if that place wants them. Yes, Ryan.
If you're a wrestler and you're at the WWE, is there any concern a year, 2 years from now? I don't know who's owning the company I'm working for anymore, and that scares me. I don't know what a Disney WWE looks like, and that worries me, but I know what AEW looks like, and that feels safer right now. I don't hear anybody having a conversation around that. Is there concern?
They should be having.
Right? I mean, we're all in business. We've all worked at places. If your job and company is up for sale and somebody new is going to start calling the shot, that should worry you a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I also don't think that WWE is ever going to fail to exist.
Isn't that what killed WCW, though? WCW felt like they were in pretty solid ground, and then networks from AOL started calling the shot. Not wrestling people started calling the shots.
That's fair. It's certainly fair.
I don't know.
I think the difference is that the non-wrestling people who owned the television called the shots, and then eventually they didn't want wrestling anymore. Whereas WWE, they have contracts out with other like TV stations. And
I don't think like if WWE sells to like NBC Universal, I think that the wrestling people in WWE will probably still run the company, even though it won't be owned by the McMahons.
Okay.
Charlie says with crowded roster, I wouldn't be surprised if in 1 year guys like Hangman or MJF move. I don't think Hangman or MJF are going anywhere.
I can't wait until WWE gets the bill of goods known as Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Like, I can't wait when they're like, he's the next guy. And then they get him, and then they realize he's not that good.
Well, and
and they put suspenders and a fucking mask on him.
Yes.
We're you're not going to see the MJF promo from last night in the WWE. That's why you have MJF.
WWE MJF has to be sweeter than Little Debbie over Mark's shoulder. That's what WWE gets.
WWE MJF is probably Bo Dallas.
But like there will undoubtedly be people who at the end of their 3-year, I think that's what most of the initial AEW deals were. At the end of the 3-year deals are not going to be re-signed. I don't know who they're going to be. I don't know if any of them will sign with WWE, but there will probably be people just based on roster size that probably won't get re-signed by AEW. And like, I'm curious to see who they are and where they land. Same as if certain people from WWE, they don't re-sign where they land. Wrapping up here, Jason, you guys took my volunteering comments the wrong way. I bought into it. I paid for it. I choose to buy a pay-per-view, and I haven't done that for years. Well, good.
This is the same guy that was AEW trash can emoji, correct? This
correct.
Is Jason?
That's right. That Jason.
Jason, hot damn.
There you go.
Here's the deal. There's no questioning they're the hot hand.
Oh yeah, there's no debate about that.
I mean, they beat NXT.
Yeah.
Are you guys all going to watch NXT next week? Any interest at all?
I'm curious to see. Well, like I want to see the CWC and the overhaul and all of that.
And if there's any question that Vince McMahon is calling the shots, there's a goddamn wedding booked on it.
I can't wait for that wedding. I'm looking forward to it.
Get ready. Indy Hartwell is going to be on.
She's going to be Mark's 1, 2, and 3 next week.
Yep, she very well could be. Did you see the bachelor party this week?
I didn't watch I haven't watched a second of NXT.
The Bachelor Party is worth watching.
Is it? All right,
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
It was really good. It was really good.
But yeah, I'm curious to see what, the
Phillies lost again. Cool.
I'm curious to see what the new look and feel of the show is going to be and the direction of NXT.
God, I hate the logo.
I'm indifferent on the logo, to be honest. Like, I don't love it, I don't hate it. I want to see it in the context of the full presentation. Like before I because I
just hate that it's not centered.
I know I can't. I just have to push that through. I have to push that through my brain. But I don't even necessarily think Mark's gone. This is kind of like closing thoughts for the week, but like I don't necessarily think a redirection, a new mission statement, whatever, however you want to describe it, for NXT is necessarily a bad thing. I think it actually could be.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. I think it could actually be a good thing.
Oh, hi, Mark.
For NXT and for WWE and where they want to take this brand for the future, because for some of the things we've said over the show tonight is like, who are the young stars of the WWE? And then we heard crickets. Like there really isn't any. So maybe this actually is a good thing. Like the Parker.
Real quick, let's talk about the young stars of the WWE. The young successful stars of the WWE have been treated like AEW treats their stars, and were allowed to carry their namesake from the indies and other places we know them into the NXT brand. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole,
Ricochet.
Red Dragon, not as a tag team, but Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. These are like the successful Rod Strong. These are all guys that we knew prior to and came over, and they kept their name.
How old's Roderick Strong?
42.
38.
I wasn't that far off. All right, I'm not saying. All right, I'm saying the successful people in NXT. Then the people that came over and have been really successful,
sure,
are people that have been allowed to keep their name and weren't fully rebranded.
Yeah.
Triple H's NXT, these last couple, Skeleton Head, Skull NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm going to give it a shot. I think I tweeted out the other week, like, if it sucks, then it sucks, and that sucks, because I've loved NXT for, the better part of almost the last decade since the network came to be. Like, I've loved NXT, and it's gonna suck if that brand sucks. It will absolutely suck. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not writing it off. Just
I fucking hate it.
I love it.
God damn it! If you're only listening to the podcast and you hit this moment, go to the YouTube, please, and just look what it's.
Yeah, we're 2 hours 15 minutes into the show.
Yeah,
bookmark it, remember it.
If WWE is serious about building stars, Cross, Keith Lee, and the Vikings would be the same thing. I think y'all can agree with Cross was made for Raw or SmackDown, not how he's being portrayed right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, Wayfair Demolition does absolutely nothing for me, man. It's fucking it's bad. Like, I get that Scarlett, whatever is going on with her health wise, is the report. It's unfortunate, but you still don't have to book Cross with that stupid ass mask and suspenders.
You don't.
And Keith Lee, obviously, with the health concerns there. He hasn't been seen since the 1 week he came back, so I don't know if there's still health issues and things like that there. So whatever the situation is with Keith Lee right now, we wish him the best.
Real quick, Tim, this is I think your category more. What's the chances we see an AEW Bullet Club?
Mm.
And is that more maybe to the NWO that you were speaking of?
I mean, technically, we already have it because that's what the Elite is.
Just called something different?
Yeah,
I mean,
because they can't
that-
call it the Bullet Club.
but that was what the Bullet Club was. So if you remember, with the Bullet Club, Kenny and the Bucks spun out of the Bullet Club and called themselves the Elite.
Okay.
And that's where like the heat between him and Tama Tonga was before. But like that's kind of where things are with that.
This whole show's ridiculous.
I love you, Tim. Charlie says he meant on NXT we could see his presentation. We said that. How many times did we say on this show that Karrion Kross's presentation at NXT was built for the main roster? And then he went to the main roster and they literally went,
"Here comes the ass."
Here's none of that. Jason says, I'm looking forward to Sting versus Tully in the geriatric main event after that challenge last night. Oh, yeah. And Devin, this is a good question to end on. Do we see takeovers in big arenas again with the changes coming? No, at least not for a while. I think their home is going to be the Capitol Wrestling Center. I think that's why the shows have been pre-taped and they're overhauling that building. They're overhauling the look of the brand, the logo, the music, the theme, all of it. It's a complete overhaul. And I think we go back to takeovers. And I think, again, right now, I think it is at the very least, it's a good idea on paper. Will it pan out? I don't know. We'll see. But
I don't think NXT is a touring brand at all. No house show, nothing.
Well, they might do some like Florida house shows.
Maybe.
Like,
Nothing.
like they've been doing just to get guys more work. But because I mean, there's no rules in Florida anyway. So
That's fair.